the footballer who intentionally broke my foot, and the doctor who told me I would never recover from that injury. Let's talk about them, because there's an important lesson in this story that I think every young athlete should hear. After playing in Greece, I traveled around Europe for a bit, played for a couple different teams in a couple different countries, and actually torn my ACL on trial with a team in England. I went through a long, hard recovery and got back out onto the field. I was playing at a pretty low level, but I was enjoying it a lot and playing very well. So I started reaching out to coaches and teams trying to get back to a good level. And that's how I ended up traveling to Manchester one cold, wet Wednesday night, December 13th, 2017. And I played 20 minutes of this trial game before one of the craziest things that has ever happened to me on a football pitch happened. I was playing left wing and the ball is way on the other side of the field, not even close to me. But the right back walks up to me and stomps on my foot as hard as he possibly can. No one saw him do it. And honestly, it took me a moment to fully register what had happened. I could still walk, so I tried to play through the pain. Obviously, I didn't play very well, but I managed to stay on the field until halftime, which honestly I probably shouldn't have done, but I'm an idiot. So I limp over to the bench, sit down on the turf, and take off my right football boot. And my foot is already starting to swell. And I knew I was done for the night. The next morning when I woke up, my foot was yellow and black and blue, and it had swollen up like a balloon. So I take the day off and go to the doctors, and they tell me it's just a bad sprain. So I do my rehab, and after a month, I think I'm good to go for team training. And I last about 5 seconds in a small-sided game before I collapse. And I go back to the doctor and find out that I have broken bones in my foot, and I've torn my Lisfranc ligament. And the doctor told me that I would be lucky to play football at any level ever again. Now, out of the 3 major injuries that I've suffered during my career, ACL, Lisfranc, and Achilles, this one was the most painful and the most difficult to recover from physically. I actually needed 2 surgeries, but it was actually the easiest injury to recover from mentally. At no point in my recovery did I ever think about giving up on football, which I did actually think about a lot when I tore my ACL and then my Achilles. And I think I know why I never thought about giving up when I was recovering from my Lisfranc tear. Injuries can be tough to recover from for a whole host of reasons, but I think one of the reasons it was so hard to recover from my ACL tear and my Achilles tear was because I didn't have an enemy. If I blamed anyone, I blamed myself. Maybe I blamed football. And that made it really tough to get back out on the field. Having an enemy gives you strength. Having an enemy gives you something to push against. Helps you go to places you might not have been able to go otherwise. And with my Lisfranc injury, I had not just one enemy, but 2. And that gave me strength. Maybe even brought out my dark side a little bit. And there's power in that. So who's your enemy? Because with the right one, you just might be able to do something you thought was impossible.